Bonjour, welcome to French 1. I'm Madame Rumley. It is Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, week 27, April 6th, and today's lesson is past tense, le passé composé. Le programme pour aujourd'hui est prière, écriture, cultural corners, les expressions idiomatiques, leçon 22 et devoir. Let's pray. Lord Jesus, thank you so much for today. We invite you into this class and be with each student here and those watching the recordings, that you'd bless them in the things going on in their lives. Keep them safe, keep them healthy. Help us to finish up this year strong. Help us to be free of tech problems this class. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, l'écriture pour aujourd'hui. Pour l'écriture pour aujourd'hui, nous continuons avec le prière du Seigneur. Matthieu 6, 13. Ne nous enduis pas en tentation, mais délivre-nous du malin. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. So, nous enduis is kind of like deliver us, but it's in the negative sandwich, ne pas. This is the imperative, actually. The subject, the invisible subject here is tu. You, Lord, talking to God, ne nous enduis pas, deliver us. It's kind of, it's a verb happening to us, so it's kind of, they're connected in the sense. The negative sandwich goes around it. Or lead us, not into, and then in temptation, but deliver us from the evil or bad. Kind of cool that we have a verse with some imperative after having just learned it. All right, levez les mains tout le monde. Ne nous enduis pas en tentation, mais délivre-nous du malin. Matthieu 6, 13. Ne nous enduis pas en tentation, mais délivre-nous du malin. All right, Charlotte. Vas-y. Yes. Really good job. And Charlotte and everyone where you are, please repeat that last word after me. Malin. There you go. Good. That's a very commonly mispronounced word, but good job, Charlotte. Excellent job. Emma, you're up. Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good. Dara? Mm-hmm. Excellent. Excellent. Jonathan? Mm-hmm. Good. I'll have you repeat the tentation. Good. I think you kind of dropped the syllable there on accident. Good job. Super common thing for English speakers to do when they're speaking French, and I find myself doing it too, is they call it eating syllables, or kind of swallowing them, or because in English we don't pronounce our words very clearly. We don't move our mouths very much, but in French they do. Tentation. All right, Elizabeth, you're up. And then what? Oh, sure, yeah. Ne nous enduis pas en tentation, mais délivre-nous du malin. Excellent, excellent. Emma McCarthy? Mm-hmm. Excellent, and good liaisons. Good job. Sarah? Mm-hmm. Mais délivre-nous du malin. Sure, sure. Ne nous enduis pas en tentation, mais délivre-nous du malin. Six, 13. Good. Good job, Sarah. Some advice that I would give you is to just work carefully with each word. There's kind of no rush, but good job. Yana, your turn. Oops, wrong. There you go. Excellent. No corrections. And Emily. Mm-hmm. Sure. Ne nous enduis pas en tentation, mais délivre-nous du malin. Matthieu 6, 13. Excellent. Good job. Good job, you guys. It'll be fun for you to be able to say the whole Lord's Prayer by the end of the year. And we're coming down there. There's just 3 more verses. So, or rather, I think 1 more verse and then 2 more parts that we add on to the Lord's Prayer. Or 1 or something like that. Anyways, there's 3 more parts is the point. And it'll be really fun. So, I know it's a little different because I'm not like giving you oral tests. Everything's not quite as it was last semester, but I still encourage you to memorize at least the Lord's Prayer. And the best way to do that, of course, is to do it a little bit each week. All right, today's cultural corner is les expressions idiomatiques. Does anyone know or remember what an idiom is, or an idiomatic expression, idiomatic phrase? Can you tell me? What is it? What is an idiom or an idiomatic expression? A phrase where we say something that doesn't exactly mean what it sounds like. That's a great explanation, Jana. Exactly, like raining cats and dogs. Yes. It's a phrase where we don't mean what we're literally saying. Um, every language has their idioms, and they always create a lot of hilarity and confusion when trying to cross between languages because we don't mean what we're actually literally saying. Like raining cats and dogs. Cats and dogs are not falling from the sky. It's an expression that means that it's raining very hard and noisily or something. Okay. So in France, there is a number, more than I have listed here, many, and many commonly used ones, idioms that have to do with food, of course. It's very French. French care a lot about food, talk about food all the time. So it makes sense that a lot of their idioms would use food. So let's go through these. First, we have raconter les salades, which means literally to recount or tell salads. And the way we would use it is like telling tall tales. And this kind of makes sense if you think about someone telling a tall tale or kind of an exaggerated story. It'd be like a salad in the sense that there's like, salad has a mix of vegetables in it. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. And a story that's a salad is something that's a little bit of exaggeration here and there, that kind of stuff. So if someone is telling you a story that you think is far-fetched, you could say, stop raconter les salades. Stop saying these salads. Okay, next we have occupe-toi tes oignons, which literally means occupy yourself with your own onions. I think it's just kind of like we have mind your own beeswax, and there's kind of no real reason why it's beeswax. There's no real reason why it's onions. I mean, the French grow a lot of onions and cook a lot with onions, so why not? Why not onions? Every language probably has their version of that with something. J'ai la pêche. I have a peach means I'm excited. There's actually no verb excited in French, so you can't quite say literally I'm excited in French, but they have the expression j'ai la pêche. I have a peach, which is there's no reason for it being a peach. The article I got this list from says that you could say anything, any food really. And the older generations maybe will pick banana because it's shaped like a smile. So if you say I have a banana, it's kind of like a funny way of saying I have a smile, or like I'm excited. So because there's no literal way of saying I'm excited in French, you could just say j'ai la pêche, and they'll understand that you're saying I'm excited. C'est du gâteau. It's just some cake. It's kind of how we say easy as pie, where it's an ironic, sarcastic expression because neither cake nor pie is easy to make. And so to say something, oh, it was cake, it was a piece of cake, or easy as pie is kind of like something you say to downplay some arduous task. Next, we have vouloir le beurre et l'argent du beurre, to want the butter and the money for the butter. Kind of like you want to keep the butter and the money you would earn from selling the butter. And it's the same idea as have your cake and eat it too, where you would use that expression in a situation where you can only have one option or the other. You can't have both. Ça ne mange pas de pain. I like this one. It literally means, it doesn't eat bread. And it's used in the sense of like, it couldn't hurt, try this. It couldn't hurt, or your arm's been hurting for a few days. You might as well go to the doctor. It couldn't hurt. But what I think is so funny about this one is that it's almost like the notion of, it's not going to cost me anything to do it. And like the most basic necessary item in a French person's mind is bread. So it's not going to cost me. It's not going to eat bread. It's not going to cost me my basic needs of bread. So might as well try it. And then finally we have mashed potatoes, purée, which is, I think every language has this kind of thing too, where it's a instead of using the strong swear words, we replace them with silly random things, like we say, oh, nuts or rats or peanuts or something in English. In French, they say, oh, mashed potatoes. So, any questions? Son of a motherless goat. You guys. Lol. Okay. So there are actually many, many more expressions with food in French. And when you go to France, if you ever go to France and speak with French people, you'll see just how much they talk about food, how much food occupies their thoughts and decisions and stuff. So it makes sense that a lot of their expressions would have food in it. It's funny. I had a recent revelation watching Disney movies with my 2-year-old and watching these movies again. I haven't seen since I was a little kid. And the movie that takes place in France, Beauty and the Beast, of course has this one whole song just about food. You know, be our guest. They're like, this takes place in France. We should definitely just have one whole song that has nothing to do with the story and everything to do with food. Yes. Although I have told you this before, the French eat infinitely slower than we do. So it's really common / normal / expect whenever you go to a French person's house for dinner that it'll be a couple hours to 3 hours before you eat anything. And then once you do start eating, you eat for the next 4 hours really slowly. They bring out each course really slowly because they take a time to. It's hard, and it's all late. Like dinners can start at 8. So it's hard when you're used to, in America, to going to people's houses and eating right away and then hanging out. Like, even though I'm used to it, or I know what to expect when I go back, I'm never used to it. I'm always like really grumpy. Like, when can we just eat the food? Yes, food is one of God's greatest gifts. All right, let's move on. Leçon 20 de Vive le Weekend. Let's start with the dialogue. We're on page 318. Tout le monde levez les mains. When I went to take the screenshot to include the picture for this dialogue, the text is right in with the picture. So you don't have to open your book for this one, but you should have your book open for the next exercises. So today's lesson, we're going to be learning a number of things, but the main thing that we're learning is le passé composé, the past tense. And so here we have a series of sentences that are, this column has to do with le weekend, this weekend, in the sentences in the present tense. And then this column has to do with last weekend, le weekend dernier, and these are in the past tense. So what I'm going to do is have you say, when I call on you, so like Elizabeth, you're going to do 2 sentences. You're going to do this one and this one. So you have the 2 kind of matching sentences, the one in the present, the one in the past. So Elizabeth, you can read these. Charlotte, you can read these. Emma Akert, you can read these. Girls are always in line next to each other. That's so funny. And then Emma McCarthy, you can read this one. All right, when you're ready. Good. Good job. Très bien. Charlotte? Excellent, Charlotte. Très bien. Hold on 1 second. I keep accidentally taking away Emma's chat privileges. Now she has like all the privileges. Okay, there we go. Okay, excellent job, Charlotte. Très bien. Emma Akert, you're up. Excellent. Good job. And then Emma McCarthy? Mm-hmm. Good. Little detail that everyone else actually did, I think maybe subconsciously, but the way we pronounce the infinitive verb acheter is actually the exact same way we pronounce this, which I'll teach you. This lesson is called a past participle, acheter. So they actually sound the same. Réparer, réparer. Organiser, organiser. Can you just say your sentences one more time? Yes, that's because of the accent, yes. Very good. Very good. Good job, ladies. Well done. Make sure you lower your hands and everyone re-raise them. All right, so that's a little taste of the passé composé, and I will explain in a few minutes what it is, how to do what it is you just read. But first, we're going to do a little grammar thing with les expressions avec avoir. We've touched on this a bit, actually a number of times throughout the year. But here's kind of a a condensed lesson for you. Many expressions in French use avoir, to have. In English, these expressions use to be, so be careful. It's safe to just kind of assume in general that the French person thinks differently in terms of these kind of conditions. Like if you're warm, if you're cold, if you're hungry, thirsty, wrong, right, lucky. In English, we say we are those things. In French, we have those things. So this takes a lot of extra thinking, and this is why you should not translate word for word when you look at sentences, because you could get caught up making an error. You have to remember, there's something else to remember, so add it to your checklist. In French, we say we have these things. Avoir chaud, to feel hot or warm. Avoir froid is cold. Avoir faim and avoir soif, we've already learned, is hungry and thirsty. Avoir raison, to be right, like reason. Avoir tort is to be wrong. And avoir de la chance is to be lucky. So let's do some exercises. Make sure your hands are lowered and re-raised from the last exercise. This one we're actually going to do audio. So you may need to have your textbooks pulled up to kind of recall. I'll give you guys a few minutes to prep. But Sarah, you're going to do number 1, Emily number 2, Elizabeth number 3, Emma number 4, Emma number 5, Charlotte number 6, and Clayton number 7. Because you happen to be at the top. So Sarah, can you start for us? How do we say we are correct? Yeah, take your time. Um, 3:20. Good, let's start there. So avoir raison is how to say that someone is correct. Sorry if I'm talking funny. I can hear myself echoing in yours, so it's like kind of, so that's like the expression like being correct, but we want to put it in a sentence. So how do we say we, and then we have to conjugate avoir and then raison. Anyone in the chat help her out, because it's hard being on the spot. How do we say avoir conjugated for nous? No. Avoir. Yes. Yes. So Sarah, it would be nous avons raison. Let's take a moment and review our conjugation of avoir. J'ai, tu as, il, elle, on a. Nous avons, vous avez, ils, elles ont. Okay, so this should be second nature to you now. We have to think too much about it, but that's okay. Here we go. Sarah, can you come on and say the whole sentence now? Raison. Good job. Excellent. All right, Emily, you're up. Can you do number 2? You, singular you, are lucky today. I realize this is not an easy exercise, but I feel like you guys can do this. Mm-hmm. Excellent. Perfect. Elizabeth, you're up. I am warm. I wear a t-shirt. Yes. Can anyone help her in the chat? How do we say we're wearing something? It's like the same idea as something being portable. Yeah. Good. Perfect. Except it kind of sounds like you pronounce the D in show, and we don't pronounce it's just j'ai chaud. But besides that, you were excellent. J'ai chaud, je porte un t-shirt. All right. Excellent. Number next is Emma. Number 4. Mm-hmm. Perfect. Yep. Perfect. Well done. Good pronunciation as well. All right, Emma McCarthy, your turn. Mm-hmm. Wow, you guys got this like so well, so quickly. Yes, vous avez froid. And then wait, sorry, can you say it one more time? The second sentence. Very good. Excellent. Perfect. Last class, my Wednesday class, the person who did this said voilà un pool. So if you were thinking that, and voilà is not wrong. It's more like there is. You know how la is there, and then ici is here. Voici is here. Here is. Voilà is there is. So you wouldn't have been really wrong if you said voilà un pool, but it wouldn't have been precise. Excuse me. Next is Charlotte. Yes, exactly. Yeah, you're right. Except the one little tiny detail, réussi means to succeed, but réussi à means to pass, like a test. So we do need that little, Un examen. Excellent. Good. That was not an easy one. You did excellent. Perfect. Yeah, I'm combining things, so and you guys are just rising to the occasion. Well done. Good job, Charlotte. All right, Dara, last but not least, one is not cold during summer. Mm-hmm. That's okay. Okay, wait. So how do we say one is cold if it was in the positive? Yes. Yes, on a froid. But if we want to make that negative, we would say on n'a, oops, pas froid. Yeah, because actually, technically, the word here, the froid or the tort, froid, soif, those are not verbs, and the negative sandwich only goes around the verb, which here is the avoir. Good. And then, can anyone help Dara remember how do we say in summer? I know I'm making you guys recall things from even last semester, so not to worry, Dara, or anyone else who can't remember off the top of their heads. How do we say in summer? Anyone in the chat? Yes, yes. En été. So, Dara, can you say the whole sentence all together now? Perfect. Well done. Exactly, Nation. Good job, you guys. Round of applause. That was not an easy exercise. I'm really stepping it up for you. And you are stepping up to the plate. All right, next let's do a written exercise on page 320. Tort ou raison? Wrong or right? Excuse me. Informez-vous sur les personnes suivantes et dites si, à votre avis, elles ont tort ou raison. Are they right or are they wrong? So basically, read the following sentences and tell us whether the following people are right or wrong. And this is basically you conjugating avoir properly and using the expression, either the expression avoir tort or avoir raison. Don't forget to conjugate avoir properly. Emily numéro 1, Elizabeth numéro 2, Emma numéro 3, Sarah numéro 4, Emma numéro 5. Do I have Kleenex? No. Okay. Oh, sorry. Permissions would be helpful. There you go. Very good. Numéro 1. Catherine est généreuse avec ses copains. Elle a raison. Good. Nous aidons nos parents. Nous avons raison. Tu fais tes devoirs. Tu as raison. Mes copains étudient le français. Ils ont raison. All of these happen to be in the positive. Number 4, so far so good. The exercise is longer than 5 problems, and I tend to take just the first one, so then maybe like the second half is avoir tort. Number 4, vous êtes très impatiente avec vos amis. You're very impatient with your friends. So maybe this is the one that's not raison. This one's probably tort. Very good. Vous avez tort. Good. So the words here, tort, raison, faim, soif, whatever, those don't change, but the conjugation of avoir does. So just for fun, everyone write in the chat choose 2 expressions avec avoir that fit you best right now. Write in complete sentences. J'ai chaud. J'ai de la chance. J'ai faim et j'ai froid. J'ai très froid. Yeah, some of you have emailed me about storms happening where you live. J'ai froid. J'ai faim. J'ai faim. J'ai la paresse. Not one of the expressions, but interesting. J'ai faim. J'ai froid. Oh man. I'm not hot because of the weather. I'm just hot because I'm an oven. All right, cool. No, you can't say j'ai la pêche. I mean, it is an expression, but it's not. Oh, sure, why not say it? It's not quite what I'm going for with this, but it's not wrong. What are you excited about? I have a peach. Oh my goodness. It's been storm season. All right, cool guys. Very fun. Next grammar lesson. So any questions about expressions with avoir? Expressions with avoir. We've done it in several different contexts. So to say we have hunger, we have thirst, if we're hot, if we're cold. Actually, really quick, don't ever say je suis chaud. Okay? If you say je suis chaud, that communicates something very different, very inappropriate. If you want to say I am hot, like I'm hot, can we turn on the air conditioning? We say j'ai chaud. Yeah, we talked about it a lot with food. J'ai faim, j'ai soif. So, yeah, it's not entirely new. I have cold. I have cold with me in my body. Okay? All right, next. Now we're going to do le passé composé, the past tense. Okay? The past tense describes events that occurred and finished in the past. So just a little heads up, if you plan on continuing with French, there are actually a number of different verb tenses in the past, number of verb tenses in the present, a number of verb tenses in the future. In French 1, we're just going to learn the most basic of each one. Okay? if you continue with French, you'll see that there are many more. It's the same in English. You could say, like I did this thing, or I do this thing, or I am doing this thing. That's two different ways of saying we're doing something in the present tense. That kind of thing, okay? So just so you know, le passé composé is events that occurred and finished in the past. So that's like the specific definition there. All right, anyways, our formula is the present form of avoir. Okay, that's kind of our theme for this class. The present form of avoir. So avoir is conjugated, and then the past participle. Easy. 2 parts to the formula. What's a past participle? Let me tell you. It's where we take the main action verb and we change the form into the participle form, which is simply removing the ER and then adding the E accent aigu. So if we look at le passé composé of visiter, to visit, I'd say j'ai visité, I visited, tu as visité, ils, elles ont visité, nous avons visité, vous avez visité, ils, elles ont visité. So as you see here, the past participle is the exact same for each one. That actually stays constant. So in a way, it's pretty easy. Visiter. The thing that changes is the conjugation of avoir, which you already know by heart by now. A, avant, avait, ont. And it's the combination of the two that tells us that the event occurred in the past. Any questions? Okay. Let's do an exercise. We're on page 322. Achat. This one you need to be looking at the textbook for the pictures. Samedi dernier, last Saturday, les personnes suivantes ont fait des achats. Dis ce que chaque personne a acheté. Okay, you want to say what each person bought. So you're given a subject and you're given an item of purchase. So Emily, numéro 1, Elizabeth, numéro 2, Charlotte, numéro 3, Dara, numéro 4, Emma, numéro 5. My example, for the exercise example is Philippe, and he has a CD. So I'm going to say Philippe a acheté un CD. Easy as that. He bought a CD. Jean is masculin. Number 5, nous avons acheté un portable. Perfect. Except it actually is all important that you have the accent, there you go, on the acheté. Very good. That's kind of like one of the most important parts right now. Excellent. Whew. This baby's kicking. Wiggly baby. Sorry if I sound so out of breath all the time. I don't know if you've ever seen like diagrams of pregnant women where like all our organs are like squished up at the top. There's not much room for the lungs. So even though I'm just sitting here talking, I get out of breath. It's a real fun experience, guys. No, it's wonderful being pregnant, but it's not always comfortable. Okay, Pauline. That's okay, as long as I know the accents there. Pauline a acheté un Jean. Jean. Very good. Very good. Number 2, are you looking? Number 2, your item is a watch. Une montre. Number 3, tu as acheté une guitare. J'ai acheté une montre. Vous avez acheté un polo. Perfect. Looks like you guys got that. Any questions? You got that pretty easy. Good. Good. All right. We're going to do one more exercise and then we'll take our break, okay? We're on page 323. we've done this kind of exercise before where you pick one item from each column A, B, and C, a person and a verb, and then a thing that you're doing. So go ahead whenever you want. I'm going to say, what am I going to pick? Oops, there we go. Okay. Mes copains, how about mes copains ont loué, they rented, what did they rent? Probably un film is the only one that works for that. Un film. My friends rented a movie. So your sentences have to be complete sentences, and make sure you conjugate avoir. Well, first of all, make sure you put the verbs in the past tense and that you conjugate avoir properly. Yeah, actually, in a way, it is easier than present. That's a good point, Emma, because you really only have to remember to conjugate one verb, and it's the same verb every time. All right, Hélène et Juliette ont organisé une boom. Good. With an accent on organisé. Good job. Take your time, you guys. Everyone should participate. This is kind of sometimes these whiteboard exercises are the most helpful, I think, because you're creating sentences from scratch almost, and it helps you realize maybe something you didn't quite understand. Nous avons visité un musée. Perfect. Nous organisons une boom. Okay, nearly perfect, except your conjugation of avoir is not correct. Vous avez joué aux jeux vidéo. Good. And avant, good fix down here. Don't forget the accent. Vous avez joué aux jeux vidéo. Marc a visité un musée. Perfect. Elles ont visité avec probably la famille. Good. Looking good, you guys. Good, good. I like these whiteboard exercises where you have to kind of create sentences from scratch because it's much more like what it will be like when you go to a French-speaking country, where you have to just pull sentences from your head, essentially. Make sentences from scratch on the spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people have gone. We have 17 people in the room. So, guys, nous avons visité un film. Very good. All right, let's take our 5-minute break. We'll come back and continue with the lesson. No worries, Julia. We're glad you're safe. See you in 5.